Hey, good morning, good morning, good morning. How are you? Happy Thursday. Woo, this week is flying on by. How are you? Yes, it is Friday Eve. Yes, it is. I am really grateful to God this morning because I've been having like such a phenomenal time in a week, spending some time with my baby brother. And it's been a very, very warm and wonderful experience because we just found each other 4 years ago. We have the same mother, and most of you know my story. I was adopted, and in 2021, I learned at the ripe age of 60 plus 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 of who my biological mother was. And by finding that out, I found my little brother as well. And so it's been a wonderful thing to get to know him better, to hear stories about our mother and different things. My daughter is like, well, we need some stories about my grandmother, and he kind of looked and for a moment in puzzlement because I was like, oh yeah, so Vi is now a grandma. Yeah, she's a grandmother, a great grandmother, a great great grandmother, since I am a mother, a grandmother, and a great grandmother. So unfortunately, she had passed away before I found out who she was, but her legacy still lives on. She birthed me into this world, and so we are the fruit of her labor. But anyway, I'm sharing that because of our topic today, walking in your purpose. One of the things that we've been able to connect and talk about is the fact that God has purpose in everything, and it was for Him to decide the appointed time that we would be able to come together and just be a blessing in each other's lives, just knowing each other, and knowing that we have that sibling connection is awesome. And so what I wanted to talk about today is walking in your purpose. Your purpose is tied to whatever God has assigned you to for a particular season. So part of this season of our lives is getting to know one another as siblings. I have specific assignments to my life in this season. By the way, PSA right here, Lioness Warrior Kingdom has a new roundtable coming up, a new spiritual business retreat, and it's going to be in Oak Island, North Carolina this time. So we've been to the mountains, we've been to Utah, and now we're going to the beach. Yay! But it's going to be September 7th through the 13th. So, excuse me, if you have not seen the little click the link in my page to get more information, I encourage you to do that. I only have 7 spots left. It is like going boop, 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 boop. So if you want to be a part of that, you need to really jump on that quickly. Now, back to my PSA, and I'm saying that because that is part of my purpose, is to sow in to you lionesses' lives, and help you to overcome any type of stigmatism that has limited you in the past from going full out, full throttle in your purpose, in that for which you were created. So I just want to read one little scripture to you to really get it in your mind how God has orchestrated your purpose in your life. And it's Jeremiah 1:5. And it says, before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Now, you may not all be appointed as a prophet to the nations. And that's not what I'm trying to say. But what I am trying to say is the fact that God knew you while you were yet in your mother's womb. See, even while I was yet in my mother's womb, He had this time set apart, for me and my brother to meet. He had this time set apart for me to grow and expand in what I do with you lionesses. He had this time set apart for you to step out and walk in the fullness and the totality of your purpose. And so that's what I want you to concentrate on today, walking in your purpose, knowing that it is not a one-time event. Walking in your purpose is not something that you only do once. It's a daily intentional decision that you make to live out what God created you for. I've told you time and time again, you are not a mistake. All right. No matter how you came about, you were not a mistake. I was not a mistake. I may not have been convenient to my biologicals at the time, but I was not a mistake. I was not a mistake. And I was the answer to my mother's prayer, my mother that raised me, to her prayer because she couldn't birth out. And here I was birthed out by someone else just to be given to her and my father so that she could have an answer to her desire to raise a child. There are no mistakes in God. Okay, there are no mistakes in God. Hear me clearly. You are not a mistake. And you've walked through certain things and different scenarios and situations in your life that they may not have been ideal. And it may not have even been the will of God for what happened to you in your life. But because He gave us freedom of choice, think people choose, and we don't always choose good. We don't always choose correctly. But He takes that, whatever has happened, and He will interwoven it into what He created you for. It becomes life lessons. It becomes a catalyst for you to help somebody else through something. There's all kind of things that can tie into that. So I just want you to understand that you need to step into your greatness, walk into the totality of your purpose, all right, in God, because it is at that point that your life will see and feel fulfillment. All right. All right. I went over a little longer this time than I have been this week, but um, I encourage you. I am doing Unstoppable Lioness broadcast tomorrow, and part of that broadcast, well, the whole broadcast is going to be dealing with walking in your purpose. So I'm inviting you to log on to Woman Thrive Media and check it out tomorrow because I'm really going to do a deep dive into that. All right. All right. I love you with the love of Christ. You know you can't do a thing about it. And I am praying that you have an absolutely positively fantabulous